Good morning! Good morning, cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine. I am the creator of the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. This is that. And it works on every size Rubik's Cube. How are you guys this morning? Alrighty. Update, I have a computer desk now. I'm up off the floor. Progress is being made. Alright. I've been playing with my minxes for a while, so I'm gonna, let's see. I gotta scooch over just a little bit. Alright, cubes. Let me show you what they do before I scramble it, and then I'll scramble it. When I teach, I either teach with these 4 cubes or just the 5x5. I don't teach just the 3x3, and I don't teach with the 2x2 unless they're as a group. And the reason is that people mentally have a block on these Rubik's Cubes. They're like, oh no, I can't do it, it's too hard. And so this method helps to remove that block because you see right away how easy it is. But when I teach the 3x, or I used to teach the 3x3, and then when I'd say, now everything you know is all you need to know for these ones as well. You don't need anything new for these ones. And they're like, you know what? I just wanted to learn the original. It's okay. But when I start with a 5x5, then show them the 3x3 or the 4x4, they know. I mean, once they've solved the 5x5, they know that they can do the rest. They just leave out parts of this. You know, it's just fewer times to do the formula. So that's what I do. If I, when I'm teaching with all 4 of them, I'll scramble them all and I say, here, do the corners on this one. There's, and I point to my little methods, formulas. You know, I teach them the corners, and then I'm like, great, that's awesome. Now do the same thing with this one. Now do the same thing with this one. Just do the corners, just do the same thing with this one, same thing with this one. Now scramble it and try it again. So, anyway, hi, good morning. All right, what does the Formula A do? Formula A moves a piece to the top, and I usually use it on corners or the absolute center, but it can be done for every piece for the first layer. But since it only works for the first layer, I generally teach Formula B. Formula A is a shortcut. I'm rambling. All right, so 1 row, 1 column. For the corners, it's the bottom row and the right column. And it's 4 moves. For every left, there's a right. For every up, there's a down. And so it moved this piece to this piece. It also swapped these 2 and these 3, but we don't care about that yet. So if we do it again, it puts the pieces back where they belong. 3 times rotates these back to the center. 2 times puts these back and forth. So I can rotate this corner, and a multiple of 6. Now that was a 3, so all the edges are back just where they were. And then there's 4. Again, another twist. 5, 6. If my goal was to twist the corners, then when it got to the position that I wanted them to be in, I would slide the top and keep going with a separate, and finish the 6 count with a piece I don't care about. For the middle row, middle column, you're applying it to this piece. You move this piece out of the way. You move the space it wants to be in down. You move the cube into the space, and the cube in the space back up again, and that gives you boxes. Again, if you want to orient so that the boxes to be moved are top, front, right for the out, down, in, up. All right, so that's Formula A. Like I said, in Formula B, everything else is Formula B. Formula B, if you use for the outside columns, up, up, down, down, moves these 3 corners clockwise. Doing it again, moves them counterclockwise from the first way, and doing them a 3rd time gets you back to start. Okay, if you're working on take a look at formula B. For every left there's a right, for every up there's a down, every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. So your top row is just kind of going like this, back and forth. And then there's an up, and then a first up, first down, second down. And for the corners, for the outside columns, it moved the corners. If I pick a piece to apply it to. If I pick, you don't have to memorize which columns do which things, you just have to pick the piece that you want to move. If this is the piece that I want to move, and I want to move it to this side, then it's the top row. First column is where I want it to land, second column is where it began. And if I wanted to go this piece to go this way, this would be the first column, this would be the second column. I want it to go this way, so away, first up, back, second up is where the cube began. Reverse down, and only 3 pieces ever move. So these are the 3 pieces that moved. This one went this way, and this one came forward, and this one took its place. Up, up, down, down, and once more we'll put it back to the way it was in the beginning. Okay, if the piece that you want to move is a centerpiece, okay, let's start with a diagonal centerpiece. Okay, yeah, it's going to move to the top. I line up the top so that's advantageous. Then we're following this piece. This piece determines what the columns are. So we go up, rotate the top so that it's in a separate column. We can't go this way, that's the same column, so we have to go this way. So this is the second column, so that's my second up. Then I reverse the horizontals and go down and down, set the top, and these 3 pieces moved. This piece went here, this piece went here, and this piece went here. Okay, up 3 times will get you back to start, or you can line it up to be more advantageous, and you can do it in just one step. So that's what it does, and with that you can solve every complexity Rubik's Cube, every n by n by n cube, from the 2 by 2 through as big as your hands can hold. And they carried away of the treasure that reigns as much as their aprons could hold. Okay, scramble, scramble, scramble. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, scramble, scramble, scramble. Ta-da! Hey, you guys, it's Thursday, I think. Do you have plans for the day? Are you all ready for Christmas? How many of you guys are... Oh, I birthed 6 kids, and so Christmas time was always, you know, right about now they'd say, hey, are you ready for Christmas? And I'd say, another 2-3 weeks I'll be all set. They're going, nope, doesn't work that way. But this is my first year where all of the kids are aged out. My youngest has flown the coop and gone to college. Most of them are married, and some have kids. So that's so. All right, so they're all scrambled. What? Wait a minute. Why do I have 2 4s? Okay, let's put this one away. Okay. So, good morning. Let's see who we've got. If you're just joining me, hi, I'm Sunshine. I play with Rubik's Cubes. I am not a speed cuber. Whoopsie. Well, it depends on how you solve this, how you define a speed cuber. If you're when you pick up the cube, when you can solve the cube consistently, and you time your solves for the purpose of trying to get better, then you're a speed cuber. So when I time my solves, my solve time is about 1.5 minutes. But that's up from 3 minutes back in the 80s. So progress is being made slowly but surely. Hello. Oh, wait a minute. My screen is in the shade, is turned so that I can't see it. There we go. Hello. How are you doing? All right. First step, whatever your cube is, whichever cube you have, is you have every cube has 8 corners. So whichever cube you have, we're going to start with doing the 8 corners. So let's pick this start one. Every cube, most cubes are consistently colored, just because humans like that. But sometimes the cubes are not consistently colored, and sometimes you have other, I use the same methods for my minxes as well. I have a void cube, for example, that does not have, has purple, but does not have white, I think. So, and has red opposite yellow. It's very confusing, but all the cubes have yellow. I have white cubes that have black stickers. I have black cubes that have white stickers. So the yellow is usually opposite white. So I start with yellow. So I find a corner that has yellow, and I hold that under my left thumb so that I've got that where the yellow is facing upward. That's how I start. So this cube E, the whole thing is a cube. Each individual piece is a cube E. This cube E is correct because I selected it. Oh, I'm going to start with this one. This cube E is correct because I selected it, and I'm going to make all the rest of the cube match it. Because you have to start somewhere. So this yellow is correct. I'm protecting it with my left thumb. Ooh, somebody rated me with a party of 1 viewer. Hi, you guys. If you're not, hi, I'm Sunshine, and this is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's cubes. And if you, it works on every complexity Rubik's cube, and all you need is these 4 moves. This formula is these 4 moves. Formula B is these 8 moves. And with that, you can solve every complexity of Rubik's cubes. It's just a matter of you pick this piece you want to work, you select the piece you want to affect, and you apply the formula to it. And all cubes have 8 corners, so we're starting with the corners. And then I'll progressively go up and handle different size cubes. But I start with, when I teach with a 5x5 or the complete set of 4, so that I just crumble from the beginning any mental blocks of that this is harder than this, because it's not. It's not. So 8 corners, 6 colors. I pick a corner that has yellow on it because I start with yellow. You can be color neutral and adapt, but I start with yellow. So here's a corner piece that has yellow on it, and because I've selected it and I'm all powerful, the whole cube is going to match this piece eventually. So we'll start there. We're doing corners, so I'm ignoring everything except for the corners, and because I'm working on yellow, I'm ignoring everything except for the yellow. So I look at this corner is correct. So I look at this corner, because it's the one I have most access to, and I ask myself, does this have a yellow on it? And if it does, by the way, I'm demonstrating, but I love to chat more than I love to monologue, and I love to teach more than I love to demonstrate. So if anyone has any questions, comments, queries, posers, denials, then please do comment me, and I will I will hone in on you. All right, so this is the corner I'm looking at. Is there a yellow somewhere here? The answer is yes. But if the answer had been no, then I would look at this corner, the corner underneath it, okay? Because these are the 2 corners that are going to switch in my formula A. So as long as there's a yellow in one of these 2 places, formula A is going to bring that yellow to the top face. So it will match the top face with this one. So A is 1 row, 1 column, bottom row, right column for the corners. And this is the piece that's going to come up here, so I move it out of the way, away from the action. I move this piece down, I move a space down, I move this piece into the space, and this piece in the space back up again. So, is there a yellow on top now? It's in one of these 2 places, but it's not on the top. So I keep doing A, and yes, I could have just muscled it into place there. But, so now, this corner, this has a yellow, this has a yellow. Yay, we're happy. So we're going to keep working with formula A, but we don't want to, this one is happy. We're going to leave it where it is. So we move that out of the way by rotating just the top row. We don't turn the cube, just the top row. And so this yellow is now protected. So I look at this one. Is there a yellow on somewhere on this cube? Yes. Is it on top? Yes. Good. We're going to leave it the way it is and rotate that out of the way. And now we're going to look at this cube. Is there a yellow here or underneath it? And the answer is yes. So formula A is going to bring it to the top. Out, down, in, up. Okay? So the first step is to bring your yellow corners to the top. I did that one. Let's do the same thing on this one. Here's a yellow corner. This one does not have a yellow on it, so I look underneath it. So if there's a yellow in one of these two spaces, A will bring it to the top. There is not, so I'm going to rotate the bottom. I'm going to hold the cube stable. I rotate the bottom 1/4 turn until the answer is yes. So now, is there a yellow somewhere on one of these two? Yes. Formula A will bring it to the top for me. Done 1 through 5 times. We don't know. It doesn't matter. We're just looking for this yellow to come to the top. So bottom row, we move this piece out. Right column, we move the space down. Bottom row again, we move the space, the cubie into the space, and the cube and the space back up again. Is yellow on top? No, that's okay, keep going. Out, down, in, up. Is the yellow on top? No, that's okay, keep going. Is the yellow on top? No, that's okay, keep going. And this is not, this is a newbie method. This is not, once you're familiar with the cubes, you can just intuit and muscle about the cubes where you want them to be before you have to start with algorithms. But so, is the yellow on top? Yes. So holding the cube stable, I rotate the top row to move it out of the way and keep it protected, and I continue with this cubie. Is the yellow on top? No. So it has to be affected. Is there a yellow somewhere here? Yes. If not, is there a yellow underneath? But there is no. It doesn't matter because there's a yellow one of these two spaces. So bottom row, right column, out, down, in, up. Is my yellow on top? No, keep going. Out, down, and up. Keep going. Out, down, and up. Now there's yellow on top. So we hold the cube stable, rotate the top to protect this piece, and we continue with this one. Is there yellow here? No. Is there yellow underneath it? No. Holding the cube stable, we don't turn it. We rotate the bottom by 1/4 turns until the answer is yes. So is there a yellow in one of these two corners now? Yes. So formula A will bring it to the top. Out, down, in, up. Keep going. Out, down, in, up. Keep going. Out, down, in, up. Keep going. And it will be less than 5 because 6 gets you back to however you started. So yellow is on top on all these 4 corners. Okay? You can do it again because that is our first step. And one of my pet peeves about cube tutorials is most people will just take a cube and that's scrambled, and they will walk you through how they solve that cube, and they're like, and that's how you do it. But that's great if your scramble happens to be the one that person has. So I do work with multiple cubes so that I'm more likely with each step to have addressed the issue that is on your cube in your hand. So that's what I do. So here's a yellow. I put it under my left thumb, and I look at the corner that's under my right thumb. Is there a yellow on this cube? No. Is there a yellow underneath it? Yes. So formula A is going to bring this yellow to the top, and it's going to land on the top face. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And yes, you can intuit it and do other, you can make your cube, get it as far along as you want before you start with this, because these methods will not mess up anything that you've done before, because they only move the pieces that are intended to move. They only move the 3 pieces that you want to move. And of those 3 pieces, at least 2 of them were incorrect to begin with, because you've got the piece that you're placing and the space where it's going to go. So this cube's yellow on top, rotate the side, rotate the top, sorry, keep the cube stable. And is there a yellow on this piece? No. Underneath it? No. So rotate the bottom row by 1/4 turn until the answer is yes. this answer for is there a yellow on one of these two pieces is still no. Rotate it again. Now that's a yes. Okay, so out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Yellow's on top, slide the top to protect it. And we're going to continue with this piece, because this piece still needs to be affected. There's no yellow on it. There's no yellow below it. Quarter turns until the answer is yes. There's a yellow. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Until my yellow comes to the top. And this is not a shortest moves, and it is not a fastest moves, a fastest solve. But this is the easy, I believe, the easiest way to learn for someone who is not cubically inclined mentally. And when I teach, and I do teach, it takes me less than in two 1-hour sessions. I have successfully taught anyone who wanted to learn how to pick up any complexity cube, scrambled, and put it down solved. So it's not the fastest, but I think it's the fastest to teach and the fastest to learn. But that's just me, because I'm proud of myself. All right, so here's a yellow corner. We're going to do it again. We're going to bring the yellow to the top. Okay, so is there yellow on this corner or this corner? No. Rotate the bottom by quarter turns till the answer is yes. And then again, when you're just starting off, you can just muscle pieces into place if you want to, but you can't. I solve the first four. I teach the first four corners the exact same way I teach the second four corners, so the newbie doesn't have to learn different ways of doing things and doesn't have to use their brain at all. So yellow's on top, slide to protect it. This is my new protection. Is there a yellow here or here? Formula A will bring it to the top. And yes, there are shorter and quicker and more intuitive ways. But this consistently works. So yellow's on top, slide it to protect it. Is there a yellow here or here? No. Rotate the bottom. Now there is. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And we have successfully brought the yellow to the top on all of our cubes. Okay? All right, now the next step, because corners have 3 colors, not just one, is we're going to look and see if they are magically where they want to be, or if we're going to move some of them around. And if we are, use formula B, which will move exactly 3 pieces around. So this cube here at this place, at this junction, one of 3 things will happen. When you start looking at the side corners, either all of them will match, or none of them will match, or one side will match. You can't have 2 sides that match without all 4 sides matching, unless you've been peeling your stickers off, which is not recommended. But if you did peel your stickers off to scramble it, we're allowed to peel the stickers off to fix it. So don't peel the stickers off. This way is easier. All right, so yellow's on top. Let's look at each cube. This one, orange does not equal blue, red equals red, which means green does not equal orange and blue does not equal green. So this one has one side that matches. This one, blue equals blue, red does not equal green. So this one also has one side that matches. This one has one side that matches, and this one has one side that matches. Okay. If they all match, you said you said you move on to the next step. If none of them match, it doesn't matter which way you hold the cube to do the next step, because once we're done with doing this step will move 3 pieces around. And if none of them match, moving 3 pieces around is going to mean that one side matches. And so if none of them match, it doesn't matter how you hold it, you just do the next step, and then you will have a one side matching. But if one side matches, which all of these magically do, sorry about that, then we take the cube the side that matches, and we hold the cube with those yellows on top still. We hold the cube with those 2 that are matching facing away from us. So that's as headlights, as if you're driving a car and you're illuminating the road ahead of you. So this is called headlights. So with the matching colors behind you, away from you, we're going to do Formula B, because Formula A brings pieces to the top, we've already done that. Formula B is going to move 3 pieces around, and so that's what we're going to do next. Now Formula B, 8 moves, 1 row, 2 columns. You know, every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it, and then for every up there's a down, and so it's a mathematical zero, it's a commutator. It says only going to move the 3 pieces I want to move, which in this case will be the corners. So, top row, outside columns, and so slide up, reverse the slide, second up, slide down, reverse down. Okay, now we're like, oh no, we've lost our, no we didn't. We've moved some around, but now we already know how to bring the yellow to the top again, so we go right back into our Formula A, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. This one's correct, slide the top to protect it. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, until all the yellow's back on top on all of your sides. And that was a multiple of 6. You don't need to know that. So yellow's back on top, and we look at it, and this time green equals green, orange equals orange, blue equals blue, and red equals red. So we have these 4 corners are correct to each other. Okay. With these ones, let's see. Blue is matching, so it faces away from us. We're going to do Formula B, and then A to bring your yellow back to the top. So slide up, slide down, Formula A, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, slide, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, slide, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Now you can't tell from what I've just done that the bottom has not altered because it looks scrambled, which is why I showed the steps on a solved cube first, so you could see that only 3 pieces are ever moving. So yellow's on top on these one, yellow's on top, and then the red equals red. These corners are correct to each other. This one, yellow's on top, one side matches, face it away, and do it again. Slide up, slide down, and Formula A to bring our colors back to the top again. And whenever you had one side that matches, when you do B and then A, then all of the corners will match to each other. All of the top corners will match to each other. In the same way that if none of them matched and you do B and then A, one side will then match, and so you know which way to hold it. So yellows are all correct to each other. First 4 corners are correct. Red, face away, slide up, slide down, and this cube didn't change. And the other 3, we're going to do Formula A to bring the color to the top. Don't turn the cube, just rotate just move that out of the way and protect it, and keep going. Slide it and protect it, and keep going. Okay, so what we've done is the first 4 corners are now correct to each other. And back in the 80s, and still because humans don't like change, we used to work around the centerpiece, because on the original 3x3, the centerpiece never moved in relation to the other centerpieces, so the color orientation would always be the same. So you memorized your color pattern, or you worked around the centerpiece, which was fine when we just had the 3x3. But from the moment we came out with the Rubik's Revenge, or the Master, it was called Rubik's Revenge at the time, when we came out with Rubik's Revenge, then you could each corner could be visually correct in more than one space, and you could have blue opposite yellow instead of blue opposite green, etc. Which, by the way, the original cube, the first one that came out, was either non-standard, was my first Rubik's Cube, white was opposite blue. And when I lost my Rubik's Cube and then bought another one later and saw that white was opposite yellow, I'm like, am I remembering wrong, or did they change it? And I found one from the original that's the color I remember, so they changed it. I was right. It's not a Mandela effect anymore. Okay, so the first 4 corners are done. Where would I go? If I have a big cube, you can go in, there's no order of operations for this. You can do any way you want. You can go layer by layer. You can go, most people go inside, do the centers first because that's how they've been taught. But because I'm treating all of the cubes the exact same way, the next step that they all need is the second 4 corners. So I take my cubes and I take my yellow and I put it face down, and now I'm abandoning my yellow. Okay, I'll start with a 5 by 5. I'm taking my yellow, I put it face down, I'm going to abandon it to provide for it, to fend for itself, and I'm going to work on the second 4 corners. The reason I'm abandoning it is because I trust that when I do, because I'm only doing Formula A and Formula B, Formula A and Formula B never mess up the bottom, so even though it can look scrambled while I'm in the middle of the process, if I do the process completely, then the first 4 corners are going to stay the way they were. And I'm going to do reverse here. I'm going to do the yellow, the 2 by 2 next. So, anyone who's new or has any questions or comments, yes, I love the sound of my own voice, but I love to chat more than I love to monologue. I love to teach more than I love to demonstrate. Oh, teaching the cube is the funnest thing in the world. Read my backstory on my page. Oh, ABCube.how is me. There's a typo. That's supposed to be a dot, but I'm too lazy to change it. So ABCube.how is me. ABCubeMethod.com is also me, but ABCube.how is easier to remember. Check out my bio I have a website that goes over the entire tutorial, and but then I just took those videos and put them up on YouTube. So I am on YouTube. I'm also on Wikipedia for the Professor's Cube, which is fun. You can go check that out. So yellow is correct. I'm going to put it face down. I'm going to abandon it. The next step is the second 4 corners. Well, what color are the second 4 corners? Well, on a standardized note color, that we already know it's white. But what if we didn't know that? What if you're a brand new person? So you look at these 4 corners while yellow is face down, and you say, what color do they all have in common? Well, these 2 have red, these 2 have green, they all have a white. Okay? If that's hard to, if that's confusing and you get distracted by all the other colors of all the other spaces, etc., you just know that because of the mechanics of the cube, it's not a color that yellow is touching. So we've done yellow. So it's not blue or orange or green or red, and it is in fact white. So yellow is face down. We're going to bring the white to the top. Now we started with one yellow when we did the yellow, and if we have a correct one, we can start with that. But if we don't, we just dive right in. So Formula A, bottom row, right column, is going to switch these 2 and then back again. And when it's back again, it's going to have twisted it 1 turn. So Formula A, I'm going to apply to this cubie until the white's on top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, white's on top. Okay? Now remember, we're trusting our yellow to fend for ourselves, so we're not going to sabotage it. We don't turn the cube, we just rotate the top row. And then we continue Formula A on this next piece that needs to be affected, or however many turns it takes. Okay, white's on top, keep the cube stable, rotate the top row to protect that white, and continue Formula A until my white is on top. White's on top. Slide it to protect it, keep going on this one until the white's on top. And because of the mechanics of the cube, it's going to be a multiple of 6, and multiple of 6 gets you back to your origin for everything else. And you don't have to know that, the cube does. So all you have to do is just trust the cube. So white's on top, and we check our yellows are still happy. Okay. So remember I said either all of them match, none of them, or one side matches. Orange does not equal red, green does not equal blue, orange does not equal red, green does not equal blue. So here we have an instance, yay, where none of the corners match. So so what do I do when that happens? And what we do is we hold it doesn't matter which way we hold it. We're going to do Formula B. Okay, so slide up, slide down. Okay, and we look and see, look, our yellow is still happy. It has not been affected. Okay, but now we have a white. Oh, sorry. The next step is to bring the white back to the top again. Formula A. Up, down, out, down, in, up. Slide the top, but don't turn the cube. Now, if I look at I've told you I was going to abandon the yellows. If I look at them now, it looks like, oh no, I messed up the yellows, I have to start all over again. No, you don't. You gotta trust the cube. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. White's on top. Slide that top row to protect it. And keep going until white is on top on all of our 4 corners. And looking at it now, our yellows are happy. So if we don't look at the yellows until the whites are back on top, then the yellows take care of themselves. So none of them matched. I moved 3 around. Now one side's going to match. In this case, it's red. So the matching side faces away. I'm going to formula B. Up, up, down, down. Yellow's still happy. Formula A to bring the white back to the top. Slide to protect it. Slide the top row to protect it. Don't rotate the cube. Slide. Slide. Okay. Now the second 4 corners are correct to each other. The first 4 corners are still correct to each other. If you rotate the top row until the top and bottom are correct to each other, and then all of your corners are correct. And so it's the exact same thing on these pieces as well. We'll do that, but I'm not going to do it on all of them right now. So and formula A, formula B, again, you just pick the piece that you want to apply the formula B to, and the 2 columns, the cube dictates what those 2 columns are. First column, one of the columns is where that cube is to begin with, and the other column is where that cube is going to end up. So you just follow the patterns, follow that cubie with your eye, and it tells you which your columns are supposed to be. Questions? While I drink a bit of water. How are you guys all doing today? Are you all following me? Because I love followers. If you follow me, that'd be great, and I'm here, but I'm mostly here weekday mornings, Saturday morning, and Friday evening. But I can show up randomly, whenever I feel like it. So thank you for letting me be a part of your morning. If you have, and thank you for bringing your friend along. St. Paul 14. Yeah, bring me your cuber friends, bring me your non-cuber friends, because this is if they don't have the mental stamina to spend months memorizing through 700 to 300 algorithms or more, and just want to know the secret, just teach me how to solve the cube. I just want to solve the cube. I don't care about speed. This is the secret. This is not about speed. This is about simplicity. I went to the other end of the spectrum. Most people, because of Jeffrey Verasano winning the first Rubik's Cube competition and creating making speed solving a thing, most people who cube think that speed is the goal. And for some it is, and that's great. But for me, this method is so simplistic and so redundant and so basic. Speed cubers don't say, this is boring. Well, yeah, it's boring. Number 1, because you're not engaging with me. And number 2, because it's supposed to be simple enough for your non-cuber friends to understand. So that's it. Something that this does not address parities. A parity is something you don't need to know about with your 3x3 or your 2x2, but if you have a void cube or anything more complex than that, you can have, I told you formula B moves 3 pieces around. There will always be 3 pieces to move around, if there's any. Now, with parity is a lie because it looks like there's 2 pieces. It looks like there's 2 cubies and only 2 cubies that need to be switched. But if you remember that there's always 3 pieces, the 3rd piece that you can't see is literally the 3rd piece that you can't see. And what piece can you not see? The piece that you can't see is the row that you don't, each row has an orientation. You can, if it's let me use this to explain. If each row has a correct position, and if it's a quarter turn off, if I tried to make the 3x3 cube match this orientation, we would end up with a parity because the center is a quarter turn off. If it's 2 quarter turns off, then we can solve it that way. The parity doesn't show up, so you have just the boxes. But anytime you have an odd number, the center slice is an odd number of turns off, you get a parity. So how do you know it's off? You get a parity. And so if you have a parity, the center, the slice that touches that particular parity is a quarter turn off. So you move that 1 quarter turn either direction, and then solve the edges in that orientation, and the parity has poof disappeared, all gone. So you can memorize parity algorithms, or you can just work from the outside in, do the corners, then edges, and then you just undo the parity as it shows up, and you don't have to worry about parity algorithms. Alright, you guys, follow me if you're not, that'd be great, if you want to, only if you want to. And Sleeping Beauty syndrome, I love that. Is that, no, let's see, I think there's actually a psychological condition that has something like that. Disney, something about a Disney princess. Not. I'm sorry. Your name reminded me. But yeah, it's where, oh, he's just misunderstood. He just needs someone to love him. He just needs someone to he's not really a bad person. He just needs to be misunderstood. I can save him. I can change him. He'll change for me. Anyway, so thank you for your morning. Go have a wonderful day. Go be nice to yourself. And I'll be back here tomorrow. Bye, you guys.